Hello and a very good evening. You're watching the news at 6 on Rajya Sabha television with me, Frank Pereira. Here are the headlines this evening. Bodies of two martyred Indian soldiers mutilated along the line of control in Poonch district. India condemns Pakistani army's barbaric action, pledges to give an appropriate response. The Real Estate Act comes into force today. 13 states and union territories notify law that makes builders keep 70% of the money collected from buyers in escrow accounts to prevent diversion. Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Turkish President Recep Erdogan review bilateral ties. Both sides signed 3 agreements in the fields of foreign affairs, cultural exchange and telecom. And North Korea threatens to continue to test nuclear weapons, says it's determined to bolster its nuclear force in the face of US aggression and hysteria. Well, Pakistan on Monday mutilated the bodies of 2 Indian soldiers who were martyred in an unprovoked exchange of fire in the Poonch's Krishna Ghati sector of Jammu and Kashmir. The Indian Army warned that it will deliver a fitting response to the Pakistani Army's action. Meanwhile, Home Minister Rajnath Singh reviewed the security situation in Jammu and Kashmir. Here's more.
In a barbaric act, the Pakistani Army mutilated bodies of 2 Indian soldiers who were martyred along the line of control in Jammu and Kashmir's Poonch district. A BSF soldier and an Army junior commissioned officer were killed as Pakistan fired rockets at a forward defense location post. Another BSF jawan was critically injured in the firing.
इसमें stand off fire हुआ है from across and from the Rosa and Battle posts of enemy posts from Pakistan side, जिसमें initially 3 injuries हुई थी. देखिए, इसको हम अभी मैटर अंडर इन्वेस्टिगेशन है, इसके बारे में भी कुछ नहीं बता सकते हैं कि वेदर इट वाज इन्फिल्ट्रेशन अटेम्प्ट और क्या था, बट मोस्टली हम ये कहेंगे कि दिस वाज अ सीज फॉर वायलेशन, जिसके तहत ये 2 लोगों की डेथ हुई है और एक कांस्टेबल जो है हमारा इंजर्ड है बीएसएफ का.
वी शुड नॉट बी सेइंग और डूइंग एनीथिंग दैट टेंड्स टू लोअर द मोरल ऑफ इंडियन सोल्जर. एट द सेम टाइम आई थिंक वी हैव एवरी रीजन टू बी रीअश्योर्ड दैट द गवर्नमेंट and the concerned departments, the concerned agencies, the concerned ministries are capable enough to take an appropriate action in response to any mischief being put across from the Pakistan soil.
There are frequent violations of ceasefire and Pakistan has been doing this. I appeal to the government of Pakistan to take control of the situation and rein its army not to resort to such ceasefire violations.
In another incident, clashes erupted between security forces and students who took out a protest march against the alleged high-handedness of security personnel at a school in Pulwama in South Kashmir. Shops and business establishments were remained shut in the area. Home Minister Rajnath Singh held a high-level security meeting at his official residence in Delhi to review the state of security in Kashmir. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, the much-awaited Real Estate Act came into force on Monday with the promise of protecting the right of consumers. However, only 13 states and union territories have so far notified the rules. The government has brought in the legislation to protect home buyers and encourage genuine private players. There are more details.
India's real estate sector is almost synonymous with inordinate project delays and poor quality of construction. More often than not, states have been half-hearted in their efforts to implement the Real Estate Regulation and Development Act 2016, a year after the central law was officially notified. Only 13 states and union territories, including Uttar Pradesh, Rajasthan, Gujarat, Odisha, Andhra Pradesh, Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh and Bihar have ratified RERA so far. 13 other states and union territories are yet to publish the draft rules. 8 states have been published the draft, but these have not been finalized yet. Meanwhile, Jammu and Kashmir is out of the preview of RERA.
Any state which is not implementing RERA immediately, they'll be loser. Why they'll be loser? Ultimately, today it's a politics of development. Anyone who is not, implementing RERA immediately, they'll be the loser in the long run. This is what we can say. So everybody has to come on board.
The Act makes it mandatory for all builders to register with the Real Estate Regulatory Authority before launching or even advertising any project. Developers have been given time until the 31st of July to register. Developers will have to submit as well as upload project details, including approved layout plan, timeline, costs and the sale agreement. Under the Act, builders have to deposit 70% of the collected amount in an escrow account to ensure that money is not diverted from one project to another. Non-compliance will invite up to a maximum imprisonment of 3 years or fine up to 10% of the total project cost.
पैसे का दूसरे में लगा दिया, दूसरे का तीसरे में लगा दिया, अब 10-10, 12-12 साल हो जाते हैं, वही नहीं मिलता, परचेजिंग नहीं मिलती इसकी, अब लोग तो परेशान हैं इस चीज़ के लिए। बिड मिलेगा, बिल्डरों पे लगाम लगेगी, आज दूसरा प्रोजेक्ट नया शुरू करके अपना पहला प्रोजेक्ट खत्म करें और पार्टियों को अपना हैंडओवर करें।
The government described the implementation of the Consumer-Centric Act as a new beginning where buyers would be king.
Even the ongoing projects which have not received completion certificate, they should register it within 3 months. मैं और भी समय दे रहा हूँ 3 महीने के लिए.
The Indian real estate sector involves over 76,000 companies across the country. Over 2,300 real estate projects were being developed at the end of December 2016, and at least 40% of the projects were facing delays of about 3 to 4 years. Kriti Mishra's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, another news now. Turkey's President Recep Erdogan is on a 2-day visit to India and started his day with a ceremonial welcome at the Rashtrapati Bhavan. Soon after, he attended a business event with Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Erdogan said that joint trade between India and Turkey should be balanced and that his country can assist in India's need for rapid development of infrastructure. Here's more.
India and Turkey signed 3 agreements in the field of foreign affairs, cultural exchange and telecom after visiting Turkish President Tayyip Erdogan held bilateral talks with Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Monday. During the meeting, the two premiers took the stock of political, economic and cultural engagements.
President and I are clear that the strength of our economies presents an enormous opportunity to expand and deepen commercial linkages between our countries. We need to approach the entire landscape of businesses, opportunities in a strategic and long-term manner.
Az önce Sayın Başbakan'ın da ifade ettiği gibi ticaret hacmimizin yaklaşık 6,5 milyar dolarda olması bizim için yeterli bir rakam değildir. Bizim bunu asgari 10 milyar dolara en kısa zamanda çıkarmamızın.
Both leaders also urged nations across the world to work together to disrupt terrorist networks and their financing.
No intent or goal, no reason or rationale can validate terrorism. The nations of the world, therefore, need to work as one to disrupt the terrorist networks and their financing and a put to a cross-border movement of terrorists.
Şunu altını çizerek ifade etmek isterim. Türkiye terörle mücadelesinde Hindistan'la tam bir dayanışma içerisindedir. Terör örgütlerinin
Earlier in the day, Prime Minister Modi and President Erdogan attended the India-Turkey Business Summit in the capital, where Prime Minister Modi stressed the need for an increase in economic engagement between the two countries. Promising a business-friendly environment, Modi invited Turkish companies to invest in India's infrastructure sector, especially in ports, rail, housing, energy, hydrocarbon, tourism, textiles and auto.
Economic cooperation is becoming an important pillar of every bilateral relation. India and Turkey enjoy good economic ties. The growth in our bilateral trade over the years.
President Tayyip Erdogan was accorded ceremonial welcome at Rashtrapati Bhavan. He also visited Rajghat to pay tributes to Mahatma Gandhi. Erdogan arrived in India on Sunday for a 2-day visit, his first foreign visit after winning a controversial referendum on April 16th that further consolidated his power as president.
Turkey has an experience in fighting and terrorism in its region and can help India isolate Pakistan on the issue of terrorism. But the real question is whether Turkey can restrain itself in OIC on the issue of Kashmir. Akhilesh Suman for Rajya Television with camera person Sudhanshu in Delhi.
The Supreme Court on Monday ordered the medical examination of Calcutta High Court Judge Justice C.S. Karnan. The Apex Court ordered the setting up of a medical board to examine his mental condition. The bench said that Karnan should be examined by May 4th. The court further directed the Director General of Police of West Bengal to provide assistance in carrying out Justice Karnan's medical examination. The bench also ordered that no tribunal or lower court will accept orders from Justice Karnan. It has asked him to file his response to the contempt notice by May 8th. The medical board has also been directed to submit its report on or before May 8th. The next date of hearing in the case is May 18th. Karnan has accused a number of top judges of corruption, triggering the first ever contempt proceeding against a sitting High Court judge. Well, the Congress party today announced its decision to contest the upcoming Uttar Pradesh local body elections alone. Uttar Pradesh Congress chief Raj Babbar said that the decision was taken after thorough deliberations with the leaders and workers of the state. The decision to contest the local body elections alone comes after a party faced a massive defeat in the state assembly elections in March after joining hands with the Akhilesh Yadav-led Samajwadi Party. In a post-poll review meeting, Congress candidates urged the party leadership to rebuild the cadre and fight the elections alone. In the Uttar Pradesh elections, the BJP marked victory by winning 324 seats out of 403. The Congress-SP alliance was reduced to a mere 54 seats in the state. Earlier, Raj Babbar said that it was essential to value the views of the cadres without whom they cannot move forward.
प्रदेश की इकाई का चुनाव हो चुका है। प्रदेश में फैसला हुआ था गठबंधन का। अब केंद्र की इकाई का सवाल है, उसमें क्या गठबंधन होगा, केंद्र की इकाई तय करेगी। केंद्र के हमारी जो नेतृत्व वो तय करेगा। स्थानीय चुनाव है, ये अकेले लड़ना चाहते हैं और हम अकेले लड़ रहे हैं, ऐसा जो है सभी साथियों का मानना है और हमारे नेतृत्व के बीच में भी हमारे साथियों ने बात कही है। उत्तर प्रदेश में कांग्रेस पार्टी जहां जहां चुनाव लड़ी है, हम बेशक सीटें कम जीते हैं, लेकिन हमने कहीं भी 70,000, 80,000, 90,000 इस तरह के वोट पाए हैं। 50,000 से ऊपर कई सीटें हमारी ऐसी हमने वोट पाए हैं। तो ये कोई कि अपने खड़े होने जनता के बीच में खड़े हैं, लेकिन चुनावी तालमेल में कहीं ना कहीं हम पीछे रह गए हैं। इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि हम खड़े नहीं।
Well, the Election Commission is set to ask the government to amend the laws to disqualify candidates named in charge sheets for bribing voters. This move comes after the poll body cancelled the Tamil Nadu Assembly by-poll following allegations of use of money to influence the people. According to sources in the EC, the poll watchdog has decided to write to the Law Ministry seeking changes in the Representation of the People's Act to ensure that candidates contesting Lok Sabha and Assembly polls are disqualified for up to 5 years once they are cheated by a court. Earlier this month, the Commission had indefinitely put off the RK Nagar Assembly by-poll after it found that money power was used to influence voters. Here's a roundup of the other news from across the country in Nationwide. Uttarakhand High Court on Monday ordered the sealing of EVMs in the strong rooms for 6 assembly constituencies. The court's order came on petitions by Congress candidates who had lost from these seats, saying that there is circumstantial evidence that the elections were rigged. The 6 constituencies, Mussoorie, Rajpur, Raipur, Ranipur, Haridwar, Rural and Pratappur went to polls on February 15th. The SBI on Monday cut its term deposit rates by up to 50 basis points for various maturities. The rates have been revised for medium and long-term deposits and for amount below 1 crore rupees. For deposits maturing between 3 years to 10 years, the rates were lowered by 25 basis points to 6.5%, but the bank is offering highest rates of 6.90% for a period of 1 year to 455 days term deposits. A BJP MP from Gujarat, KC Patel, has filed a police complaint that he was drugged and filmed in an objectionable position by a gang led by a woman. The BJP MP also alleged that the woman demanded extortion money of 5 crore rupees. The police have filed a case of blackmail and extortion against the woman and are looking for her. The Delhi police on Monday arrested two men in connection with an attack at the residence of Delhi BJP chief and MP Manoj Tiwari. While he was not at home during the incident, Manoj Tiwari claimed that there was a conspiracy behind the attack and alleged that the police was also involved in it. It's time for a short break now, but news and updates will continue on the other side. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
It was an EVM leher, not Modi leher.
I think insult to the people of the country.
Why does the secular lobby say that the nationalism which is projected by BJP is a pseudo-nationalism?
We, after so many years, don't need any certificate from any lobby.
BJP is becoming bigger than RSS, or RSS is overshadowing BJP.
I don't think so that BJP can ever become bigger than RSS.
Watch To The Point with Union Minister Dr. Harshvardhan only on Rajya Sabha television.
Homai Vyarawala, better known by her pseudonym Dalda 13, was India's first woman photojournalist. Vyarawala entered the field of photojournalism in the late 1930s. For nearly 30 years, till she retired in the early 1970s, at the peak of her career, she made a massive impact. Vyarawala clicked some iconic pictures of political and national leaders. Gandhiji, Nehru, Jinnah, Indira Gandhi have been subjects of her vast photographic collection. Prime Minister Nehru, she says, was her favorite. In 2011, Homai Vyarawala was conferred the Padma Vibhushan, the country's second highest civilian award.
Welcome back. You're watching Rajya Sabha television. Well, North Korea's latest nuclear rhetoric has fueled fresh jitters in the Korean peninsula. Pyongyang has warned that it will carry out a nuclear test at any time and at any location set by its leadership. However, the US seems to be watching the situation very closely, with President Donald Trump not ruling out a retaliatory military strike.
North Korea suggested on Monday that it will continue to test nuclear weapons to bolster its nuclear force in the face of what it calls US aggression and hysteria.
미국이 새로 고안해낸 최대의 압박과 관이라는 대조선 정책에 매어달리면서 우리에 대한 전면적인 제재 압박 소동에 요를 올리고 있는 조건에서 우리의 해곡지를 강화 조치도 최대의 속도로 다그쳐질 것이다.
These tests will be carried out at any time and at any location set by the North Korean leadership. Tensions on the Korean peninsula have been running high for weeks, with signs that the North might be preparing a long-range missile launch or a sixth nuclear test. Washington has not ruled out a military strike in response.
I would not be happy. If he does a nuclear test, I will not be happy. And I can tell you also, I don't believe that the president of China, who is a very respected man, will be happy either.
You mean military action?
I don't know. I mean, we'll see.
Meanwhile, as the rhetoric is raised, Japan has sent its biggest ship, Izumo, to help America's supply vessel, which is headed out to refuel the USS Carl Vinson. This is the first such operation since Japan passed controversial laws expanding the role of its military.
Whether or not a nuclear warhead or just an ordinary dumb bomb, one explosion there that would hit somebody could cause a catastrophe. And it would really mean the first victim be Asia and Southeast, the whole of the ASEAN countries and the rest.
North Korea has carried out 5 nuclear tests in the last 11 years.
It is widely believed to also be working towards building a missile capable of delivering a warhead to the continental United States. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, here's Pakistan has extended the duration, of course, of Mumbai attack mastermind and Jamaat-ud-Dawa chief Hafiz Saeed's house arrest by 90 days. The decision to extend Saeed and his 4 aides' custody was taken under the Anti-Terrorism Act. The Pakistan government on January 30th had put Saeed and his 4 aides under house arrest in Lahore for their alleged involvement in activities prejudicial to peace and security. Allegedly, the Nawaz Sharif government had detained Saeed after the Donald Trump administration told Pakistan that it may face sanctions if it did not act against the JUD and its chief. Hafiz Saeed, along with his 4 aides, have filed a petition in the Lahore High Court challenging his detention. Well, here's a roundup of the other international news and global buzz. Missouri Governor Eric Greitens declared a state of emergency due to what he called historic flooding in some parts of the state. Thousands of National Security Guard troops are expected to be called upon for rescue efforts. At least 2 people were reportedly killed in southern Missouri. The National Weather Service forecast flash floods and strong thunderstorms for Louisiana, Mississippi and Alabama on Sunday. French presidential candidate Macron visited the Shoah Holocaust Memorial Center and the Memorial of Martyrs for Deportation in Paris on Sunday. Macron signed the visitors' book and laid flowers in the crypt of the Shoah Center. Asked about Le Pen's accusation that he was using the Holocaust for electoral purposes, Macron said people who were lost must never be forgotten and that the Holocaust must never happen again. Several thousand demonstrators took to the streets of Berlin for the weekly Pulse of Europe demonstration on Sunday to express support for a unified Europe. Protesters waved European Union flags and placards of the Pulse of Europe movement. The main topic of Sunday's demonstration was the result of the first round of the French presidential election. Turkish police arrested dozens of anti-government protesters who tried to breach a ban on access to the main Taksim Square in Istanbul to mark May Day. Officials said 30,000 members of the security forces were deployed to deal with celebrations. Taksim Square was the home of May Day celebrations until 1977, when dozens of people were killed during demonstrations that were dubbed the Black May Day. At least 27 people were injured on an Aeroflot flight from Moscow to Bangkok on Monday when their Boeing 777 hit turbulence. The Russian airline said several passengers were injured during severe turbulence 40 minutes before landing in the Thai capital. All the injured were sent to a local hospital. 24 of them were Russian and others from Thailand. And let's now get you some sports news in Sports Beat. India moved up a place to 3rd position in the latest ICC team ratings. India gained 5 points to swap positions with New Zealand, who dropped to 4th place. South Africa retained the top spot ahead of Australia in 2nd place. Aizawl FC were crowned I-League champions in one of the fairy tale scripts in Indian football history. The club, which was on the verge of relegation last season, turned the tide to become the first Northeast club to win the title. Aizawl ended the league on 37 points ahead of Mohun Bagan, who finished 2nd on 36 points. By winning the I-League, Aizawl will now play in the AFC Cup. India defeated New Zealand 3-0 in the Sultan Azlan Shah Cup hockey tournament on Sunday to register their first win of the tournament. Harmanpreet Singh scored 2 goals while Mandeep Singh added the 3rd as India moved to 4 points from 2 games. In their opening game, India had played out a 2-2 draw against Britain. Rafael Nadal won a record-extending 10th Barcelona Open title with a straight-set 6-4, 6-1 victory over Dominic Thiem of Austria. Nadal, who won the Monte Carlo Masters for a 10th time last week, romped to the title without dropping a set in the tournament. Valtteri Bottas celebrated the first Formula One victory of his career after winning the Russian Grand Prix. Bottas jumped both Ferraris at the start and held his nerve over the tense closing laps. Ferrari's Sebastian Vettel came in second ahead of teammate Kimi Raikkonen. That's it on this newscast. Have a good evening.